Somebody say you muted.
Preseason for me as well. All right, speak, JD.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
All right, we're good now. All right, preseason for everybody. My fault. My fault. It's my first time taking the reins, but we're back. Knicks Fan TV, ladies and gentlemen. Game 4 of the preseason is in the books, and it was thrilling, and it was something. A lot of things to talk about. We saw the chat. We saw everything you had to say, and we're sorry to disappoint, but yes, it is just I, myself, and JD. No CP tonight, and no, he's not on the run. This was already planned, but JD, our Knicks took this fourth game of the preseason, this finale against the Washington Wizards. We saw a lot of defense ish towards the end of the game. Obi Toppin looking good, Grimes looking good. We got what we got from Julius Randle, Derrick Rose. Like I said, it's preseason, but Twitter's jumping out the window. How you feeling about this game, bro?
50 burger.
Double down.
50 burger. Man, when it was the third quarter, I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to go on this show because that 50 burger, I don't know if it's looking good, even though it's preseason. And I mean, CP was right here with us. I don't know where he went, but no,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm kidding. Before they really start thinking that CP was
gonna
dunking
believe
the
that.
smoke.
They gonna believe
Somebody hit a game-winning shot, so I know there's people in the chat looking for CP. But listen, I think it was a great way to end the preseason in terms of getting the win, in terms of going into the season now with some momentum.
Right.
They got some high-leverage basketball there in the fourth quarter with some, with a close game. And I mean, they were really from behind for most of the game. There was some interesting developments in today's game, starting with one of your favorite players, Quentin Grimes.
Yes, sir.
That was good to see. It was actually, I think it was rather surprising that not only did he got the minutes that he got tonight, but also in the pattern, the rotation, the substitution pattern that he was, inserted into the game. He looked like a legitimate part of the rotation tonight.
Really
so
good.
and he played some key minutes in the fourth quarter. So that was good to see. Randall hitting the last shot was good to see. There were some negatives, and I'm sure we'll talk about those negatives, especially defensively, the perimeter. What are going to be some of the concerns for the New York Knicks as they start the season now on October 20th? But I think overall, we got Mitch Robinson back. There's gonna, we'll see what everyone thinks about his performance tonight. But I think, listen, it was a good way to end the preseason. At the end of the day, they got the win. It wasn't in the best fashion, but you know what? Sometimes I'm pretty sure Tom Thibodeau in the end is happy with the way it ended, because in preseason there's only 4 games now, right? So the Knicks had, I think, was it a couple of blowouts, then you had the Pistons game, and now you have this game. At some point, part of the dress rehearsal is you want to be able to face a little bit of adversity, either get a tight game, you want to have a game, be close in the fourth. You want to face those situations because, that's part of preseason. That's part of practice. You want to be able to be in that situation. So we're 0-0 now, and the road to 50 begins next week.
50 burger. The movement created by our own JD is catching fire in the Knicks Fan TV chat. And a lot of people are believing the hype and jumping into it. But I want to continue on something that you brought up, and that was Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson made his appearance today, and he was gassed, but you can see that just him being on the floor, the intimidation factor was 100% there. There was a lot of quick draws by the Wizards in some instances, and lot you can see the offense shifting a little bit for the Wizards. They were able to figure it out a little bit because of Mitch's conditioning, but I'm not really worried about that. It's his first game since March. But how'd you feel about Mitch Robinson making his return, man?
Well, according to Tom Thibodeau before the game, he was just going to get his feet wet and he was going to be limited. And next thing you know, he played 27 minutes.
27. Yep.
And he's into the game. 3-4 minutes in, he's inserted into the game. So I caught a little bit of Mitchell Robinson's post game. He even said that he was surprised. He wasn't expecting to play this many minutes. So it goes to show you that, in Tom Thibodeau's world, it's different things have different meanings,
Right.
and he just goes with the flow, goes with his gut instincts of how he manages minutes. And I know there's a lot of debate within the fan base. Some people agree with it, some people don't. But in terms of his performance, listen, for the first time, this is going to be his only preseason game. In the end, I actually think it was pretty solid that he got 27 minutes. You know
Right.
why? Because there's no time. Like, the season starts now. The
Mhm.
team has high expectations. It was good that he extended his minutes so he can catch some wind, get some endurance, get some conditioning because, when the season starts, teams don't have many practices, with the travel time, the games coming in so fast. There's not that much time to really, have scrimmages. You have players being managed throughout practice. I thought that he was okay. He had 9 rebounds, 2 steals. He was 3 of 8. I think we're gonna have to, see how the added weight does with his explosiveness. I think at times he was a little bit slow, but again, that could be from conditioning. So I think as time goes by, we're gonna find out if the added weight was a positive or it was a negative. I'll tell you what though, every time he hit the floor, CK, I was nervous. I
Oh,
mean, he
were you?
came in, yeah, he came in, and I think the first possession after he came in, he tried to contest the shot. He goes on the ground, and I'm like, please
Here
don't
we
be hurt.
go.
Please don't be hurt.
Yeah.
So I think it was solid. And let's see how it goes. When the season begins.
Yeah, definitely the presence was felt with him on the court. He didn't even block a shot, didn't even have to do much. Just the fact that he was out there, you could see that the respect was already given from the Wizards offense. Because we're going to talk about that next. But they were getting to the basket way too damn easily to start off that whole entire game. And the minute that he came out there, you could see that it slowed down a little bit. But then they eventually started making the three ball on top of all that. But yeah, it's nice to have that factor that's been missing for us for so long. I know we had Nerlens, but to have Mitchell Robinson back in the lineup, that's just a whole other level that we haven't really gotten to see the full potential of, especially under Tom Thibodeau. That is exciting. But like you, yes, there was a few of them that he went for, the loose balls and stuff like that. I'm just looking at him like, please, all right, don't do anything crazy. Like, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at fingers. I'm looking at hands. I'm looking at when he's falling. Like, I'm just get up and be all right, and we'll see how the season goes. But yeah, very happy to see him on the floor. But talking about defense, we did see Kemba Walker get swapped out pretty early. We could talk about whether that's the minutes and with the injury or just the lack of defense. How worried were you with the perimeter defense that was lacking throughout the entire first half? I don't think it really clicked probably till the midway of the third quarter. But the perimeter defense wasn't great. A lot of people worried about that. I saw that on social media. What were your thoughts about it?
Yeah, listen, I know the thing about the Knicks fan base is extremely smart, extremely intelligent.
Right.
They understand, gritty. They understand defense. Very detail oriented fan base. So the fact of the matter is, everything is going to be magnified, and we're going
For
to,
sure.
especially being where we were last season in terms of defensively. We're going to notice, especially with Thibodeau coaching, all the weaknesses and things that don't result in quality basketball. So
Mm.
it's one of the concerns, and that's why I also want to see the team when Noel and Mitch are back healthy. Because when they're not there, as you can see, when our perimeter defense is weak, it's going to look worse because when we don't have the rim protection, there's nobody to clean up some of the mistakes.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think this team is going to have to adapt a little bit and become more offensive, in the sense that to kind of make up for some of the deficiencies that we may have on the perimeter, we're going to have to score points. And I think Tom Thibodeau realizes that because we're shooting more threes, right? So we're going to now be caught up in a situation where we're going to have to be at least very solid to strong offensively to make up for some of our defensive deficiencies in the perimeter. Because I think, and this is just me personally, if we're not sound in rotations, we're going to allow a lot of open threes. I know we did last season, but you saw tonight there were a lot of open threes and there were wide open threes.
Wide.
And I
Yeah.
know last season we got a little bit away with it, but is that a sustainable way to be solid defensively long term? We're gonna find out this season. In terms of Kemba, listen, it's gonna be a work in progress. I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna have games where he's gonna be decent, and then you're gonna have games like tonight where he's just gonna be off, and you're gonna have to make adjustments. Now, the positive about that is you have Derrick Rose, right, who is not the greatest defender, but he can still be a
Hold
bigger
his own.
body, stronger body. You
Right.
saw that Thibodeau made that adjustment because of Neto is a small guard, so you put Rose on him, who's a bigger body, and see how that goes. The good thing is the Knicks have depth to try to make changes. That's also why I think Grimes has the head start on Kevin Knox because, like I said, Grimes gives you offense, but he can also give you defense. And Tom Thibodeau's going to have to find creative ways to have as much defense on the floor as possible, but also have enough offense to make up for it.
Amen. Well said. We have 15. I'm rounding up. We got 1,600 of y'all in the chat. Hit that like button for the boys if you haven't already. We already got a lot of super chats that we're going to have to play catch up on, but let me read some of these right here, starting with my man Mid Belford saying, fellas, 50 piece might go for this. I might go for the 60 burger. LOL. Knicks in 4. It doesn't matter. LOL. This is going to be the start of a magical season, a preseason game with that intensity. This is nuts. LOL. Yeah, facts. Like the Garden was going crazy. We had an MVP chant in the preseason. Tell me another teams that's doing that. Nobody. I want to hear it. Best fan base. Argue with your mama. I'm not listening to you.
You heard
Scott Moore.
Frazier. You heard Clyde in the end. You heard Clyde in the end saying that you couldn't even hear the whistle of the refs.
Right. Cause I was trying to figure out why the clock stopped because the referees were trying to stop the play the entire time, but we were all the way down the other side of the court ready for another bucket. But yeah, man, I love it. I love the energy. Scott Morgan saying he's very excited about Grimes with the $25. PE's in the chat for none other than Mr. Chuck D with a 20 bones saying Mitch caused havoc on offense and defense, and he created mad space. He makes the other team seem small, yo. Best believe he's gonna get conditioned. I agree. This was a culture game. Knicks won before we won. Last play was irrelevant. I hear that. That's why I honestly feel like, and I was telling my fiance that whether we won or lost this game, the fact that we had that kind of comeback, the fact that we had the energy of the Garden in this one game right here, we saw the fight from, we saw the defense from guys like Obi Toppin, who was atrocious defensively last year, and turned around and played great defensively tonight, at least in that second half. Grimes, as a rookie, had a hard time making a shot, but was doing everything else right. And when it mattered, hit that clutch three. RJ Barrett with the key block off the backboard. All those key moments right there tells you the fight in this team. And to JD's point, the positive of having such depth in moments like this, because that wasn't our starting lineup. Evan Fournier wasn't out there. You know what I mean? Kemba Walker wasn't out there. Mitch wasn't out there. Taj wasn't out there. We had Obi finishing the game at the center like a lot of you guys wanted. My guy Grimes got those key moments and did a lot with it. Like, that's what is so beautiful about the depth that we have for this team. When one guy's missing, like Burks wasn't there tonight, Quentin Grimes stepped up and he did a good job with what he had. And I also want to say, JD, I just want to put this out there. I'm not trying to say, that I was right and I told you so. Before that 5 of that closing lineup was my defensive lineup. Only one was Obi Toppin instead of Mitch Robinson. I just want to put that out there. Grimes got his burn, so I feel a little good about that. And he did his thing, man. I was really happy about it. But, I agree. We won before we even won, and I'm with you on that for sure, Chuck. Tonight's lines are only going to be on Discord. Unfortunately, I cannot run the phone lines from where I'm at, where I'm running this live, so everything will be Discord only for all of our call-ins. I would like to get as many of them as possible if you haven't already. So get on the Discord. You guys know the link. If not, we will throw that link up for you guys in the chat. But get on in there, and we're going to have some conversations continuing about this game. Before we do that, Derrick Rose and Julius Randle, man. We saw Julius Randle he only played 3 of the 4 games, and in my opinion, I feel like he was great in all 3 of them. He did have a tough start for us in this game, but the whole entire team did, and he rallied and closed out the game well. Derrick Rose was good for us the entire game. I mean, Derrick Rose doing what Derrick Rose does. But just the fact that this is happening in the preseason, and other teams over there. I saw the Miami Heat playing the bottom half of their 15 players in their entire game, but we're here playing our entire lineup and getting the chemistry together. What's your thoughts on D Rose and Julius Randle putting in the effort that they put in a meaningless preseason game?
I mean, listen, it's definitely meaningless, especially now. It's 0-0, so it's over,
Right,
right?
right.
It's over, and nobody cares anymore. But the thing is, and that it's part of adjusting the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean nothing to Tom Thibodeau. In other words, to Thibodeau, it means a lot.
Right.
Like these minutes mean a lot for him, because he's putting players out in different situations, and Thibodeau is such a trust coach. He's such a coach that is big on just trusting the players. So it is very meaningful for the players. And not only that, the players are responding to that, which means
Facts.
although the fan base is, some of the fans are, they're not in agreement with the way that the preseason played out in terms of minutes, playing players in the fourth quarter, playing players in the last 2-3 minutes.
Right.
The players have bought into his philosophy, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Rose again continues to show that in big moments he's gonna have to be out there.
Facts.
And we had to show with the closing lineups, and this is one of the reasons why is he has the trust of Tom Thibodeau, but Derrick Rose is a good 3-point shooter in the clutch. Like he's time and time again, he's proven himself to be a big shot maker, and he has a lot of composure, a lot of poise, and I think the point guard position, he's gonna play it by ear. If Rose is hot, he'll finish it. If Kemba's hot, Kemba may finish. I don't know that he's gonna play both at the same time, because we saw that a little bit tonight, and defensively it was a problem.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see in terms of Julius Randle. Listen, he's our leader. He's our best player,
Yeah.
and this is what he has to do. I was encouraged by him hitting a big shot because the fans are back. And again, it's preseason.
Facts. That's
It's
a good point.
preseason,
That's a good point,
but
though.
people are paying attention.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, well, the fans are back. He was psyched out and this and that on the fourth.
Yeah.
Well, I was encouraged by him having a good preseason. And listen, that last shot was on Gafford, who is going to be one of their starters. So that was also a positive in terms of who was defending him in that key moment. And listen, everybody started slow. So him going 6 for 16, him going 1 for 6 from 3, everybody started slow. I'm not really too concerned about that. I will say we saw him playing with Obi, and there was one possession where Obi was wide open in front of him, and he went cross court, and there was a turnover.
Yeah.
And I think an example like that is just chemistry. He hasn't played with Obi a lot, and he's working on becoming a better passer on a double team, and I'm hoping that that's an area of his game that he shows improvement this season.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Yeah, I remember that play as well. But I think, and that's the point. Like they were saying that's the whole point and the whole reason why we're playing all of our guys. It's for the chemistry. We're going to be trying all kinds of different lineups. Like the whole Quentin Grimes thing. I thought that was going to be a mid-season choice, and fourth game of the preseason he gets thrown in because he needed a defensive assignment. Grimes did the thing, and he ended up playing the majority of the game. Now, mind you, I know Burks was out, but he could have gone anywhere else on the roster. Kevin Knox was playing solid for the first 3 games, but we knew he needed defense on top of offense. Went with the rookie, and the rookie delivered. So, chemistry is important to me. Yes, throughout the preseason, at least in the first 2 games, I did want to see more of the young guys. But in a game like this, knowing this is the last one before our actual game on Wednesday, I just wanted to see what we saw tonight. Chemistry and seeing everybody figuring it out and playing with each other and playing for each other the way that we saw in tonight's game. So I have no complaints with the lineup and the minutes tonight. You ain't going to get that out of me tonight. But I want to go to the Discord, get to the phones. We have quite a people on hold already. So we're going to go with the first one. Let me move him over with us. And it is Jay from the Lou. Jay, how you feeling about tonight's game? Let's hear it. How you feeling, bro?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today, CK?
What up, Jay?
It's love, man. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You're good, man. The floor is yours. Give us the energy, man.
Oh man, hey, I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm sorry. Hey, okay. Shouts out there. Hit that thumbs up. And shouts out to 2K. JD, much love to you. Hey, look, real quick, I'm gonna get right to it, man. Come on. I think this is gonna be a good year for us. Top three. I'm not going no numbers, man. I'm sorry. But I'm just going top. I feel the energy. And I'm also thinking to be the MVP. I think he can be the MVP. Despite
Uh-oh. Jay,
what's going
we're losing you, bro.
on, he's a dog, and I think he can do that. But I think Julius Randle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're losing you. Going in and out. Last thing I heard was you said Julius going to be MVP, and then after that, you went into the Matrix.
I went into the universe. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are. There you are.
Okay, bet. Yeah, man. Julius Randle, I got that MVP status for him, man, already. I think he got that in the bag. The rest to say it, man, I think everything lines up with just Mitch being there and, him doing what he can do. And, maybe if Kevin Knox can, show something off the bench, man. I mean, we got guys to move pieces. I mean, this is what we always wanted, as a Knicks franchise. And to be able to do that right now, man, it looked good for us, man. And I'm just ready, man. The staff is beautiful. And it's just one of those things to where if everything can just go in place, injury sides, those type of things, I think we're top three, guys. I want y'all to be behind me on this. I'm out.
All right. This man said top three. No numbers, but he said top three. All right. We're going to ride with it, Jay. How you feeling about the top three prediction? I mean, if we get a 50 burger, doesn't that put us pretty close to top three, or are you not going to co-sign the top three prediction from Jay?
Well, I'm definitely on the 50 burger bandwagon, and I did say that pending what happens with the 76ers and Ben Simmons, which, I mean, the season starts next week, and it looks like, I don't know, he's not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So the Knicks to me, are going to be a legitimate contender for that third slot. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think, and it's not only, I know some people may just look at it from what they see the potential of the Knicks are. My view is not only that, obviously, listen, it's all pending health. Like I acknowledge that, and I think it's 100%. It depends on health, especially in that point guard position between Kemba and Rose. However, I'm also putting into effect other teams. And as we talked about before, everybody wants to talk about the Knicks question marks and headlines and what's going to happen with their defense. Guess what? The Miami Heat have question marks too. Like, do the Miami Heat really have a superstar? They have to worry about health. They have injury concerns with Kyle Lowry's age and Jimmy Butler having some nagging injuries. Like, the Sixers are a mess with what's going on. Are they going to take a step up? Or are they going to take a step down? Like, what's going to happen with some of these other teams? So, I think I'm also putting that into effect, and I think it's going to be close, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I respect that for sure. But Big Surge, I mean, like you said, it sounds like with Big Surge, he's co-signing you and he's co-signing Jay because you dropped $5. Appreciate you, Big Surge. He said, CK, my guy, I'm jumping all the way out the window and landing on JD with 56 burger shots. Hashtag 50 burger posse. So he's going for 56. Going for 56. You started this movement, JD. This is all you, bro. This is all you. And I love it, though. I love the energy. I love it.
Let's go.
All right, we're going to hit up our next call. Hopefully we got the AOL off situation figured out. But we're going with Ari. If this is our Ari, I'm really curious to hear what you have to say. But Ari, what's good, man? How you feeling about this win? Meaningless? It mattered? Are you hyped up? How you feeling going into our first game of the season this coming Wednesday?
Let's go, Ari.
I mean, it was a very entertaining game. What a comeback. That was crazy. I mean,
sir.
when was the last time we saw a buzzer beat? I mean, obviously I wish it was the regular season, but definitely an entertaining game. So I have three positive things, one negative thing, right? So
I love it.
Number one, I feel like we really have a serious home court advantage. There's no way we win this game on the road. Like, there's just no way we win this game on the road, man. Like, the crowd was like, it was like a playoff atmosphere. It sounded like through the TV. It sounded like the crowd gave them a lot of energy. So, I feel like the Knicks are going to be hard to beat at home, especially when they're so deep that you have a lot of fresh bodies you can throw in there and keep everyone kind of fresh. So I think the home court advantage is something to look for. That's number one. Number two, Quentin Grimes he's pretty locked down. That guy, he's really engaged on defense. I think he pretty much regardless of how many threes Kevin Knox hits in the game, he's not. I feel like Quentin Grimes, because of his defensive consistency and the fact that he can at least hit the three, that you have to guard him and spread the floor. I feel like he's going to be the guy that's going to get the 5-10 minutes a game or slide into the three position, when there's injuries and stuff. So I definitely like what I saw from him. The third thing I like is, they made that 15-2 run when it was the Obi Randall combination. We wanted to see the Obi Randall combo, right? Mitchell Robinson came out. He's obviously not in game shape yet. He just come back from injury. But Obi looked like he was protecting the rim pretty well.
Yeah.
He was spreading the floor. He hit a couple big threes. With him and Randall, there's definitely going to be a lot of teams that they're going to be able to play small ball with. Obviously, like a team like the Lakers that has Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, you may not be able to do that with, or like a team like the Bucks maybe. But there are going to be teams, and I think it's proven that we could actually run that for at least in spot minutes. We can play Obi and Randall together, and the interior defense. Yeah, maybe it's not going to slip that much, and for what they do on offense, it definitely makes sense. So I definitely liked what I saw from that. We were all waiting to see that. Now, here's the only thing I have a negative with.
I was waiting for it.
Again, listen. When it comes playoff time, all right, these games come down to the stretch, and if your best play is ISO Randall, him taking a fall-away jump shot from 20 feet out, yeah, it went in tonight, but that is not a good play, man. That's not a good shot. I understand it went in today, right? But this has been my problem with Tibbs. He has no offensive creativity down the stretch. All these playoff games, we're not going to be playing the bum Wizards. We're going to be playing good teams down the stretch. And all these games that come down to the stretch, you cannot just give the ball to Randall and spread the floor and have him take a fall-away jump shot. It's so predictable. You know what's going to happen. And it's just the odds are not. I don't like the play.
So even with the tied game situation, like we saw tonight, knowing that there's only about 10 seconds left on the clock, you're not giving the ball to Julius Randle in that situation. If we're down, I hear you, but if we're tied up,
I'm trying to run
best case scenario, we go into overtime. Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to run a pick and roll with Derrick Rose or Kemba Walker. I'm trying to get to the foul line, and then if I can get a switch and I got Randle on someone smaller, I'll post him up or something like that. But just give the ball to Randall and just spread the floor and have him take a contested jump shot from 18 feet away. It's just not a good play, man. It's just not a good play. And it worked right, and I was happy to see it work. But come playoff time, man, you need to have more offensive creativity. You got to be a little bit less predictable come down the stretch, man. And it's not going to be the Wizards guarding. It's not going to be Gafford guarding him. It's going to be Giannis guarding him, or it's going to be KD guarding him, or Ben Simmons or someone. So I think Tibbs needs to, down the stretch, he needs to come up with some more offensive creativity. But overall, I thought it was a great game. Home court advantage is a real thing. Grimes can lock up. The Obi Randall combo is obviously effective. But come on, down the stretch, let's get something. Let's get some ball movement. Let's get something. Let's get a mismatch. Don't just give the ball to Randall and hope he goes Kobe on it. That's my take.
All right, Ari. Appreciate you as always, man. Yeah, well, you knew Ari was going to come in tough on Julius. That didn't surprise me. I don't know if it surprised anybody in the chat. Shouldn't have surprised me. But I don't know if I could agree with that. I especially in a game like this. Yeah, I mean, if it's anybody else, he had Derrick Rose. But to Ari's point, not getting the ball to Julius Randle, and maybe we could have a different kind of play, sure. But realistically, that's just the way it's going to come down to if the game is tied and there's, 10 seconds left on the clock. You're going to give it to your guy. You're going to give it to your all-star. You're going to give it to your main dude. You agreeing with Ari on this one that we should run something different when it comes to us playing a bigger team, or you're running with Julius Randle every single time? Tough one.
Because from a basketball perspective, we would all love for a play to be run, right? You want 5 people to touch the basketball. You would love a beautiful looking play, and then whatever happens. But here's the reality of the way these games play out. if you give the ball to LeBron, you give the ball to KD, you give the ball to Kyrie, you give the ball to James Harden, you give it to whoever, you think they're running plays? Like, isolation basketball in the last 2 minutes of the game is usually how playoff games end. And that's you, and you just live and die with who you believe is your best player. Now, we can certainly have a conversation about who you would prefer to take that last shot, but in terms of the actual play, it's going to be isolation basketball. The most you may get is maybe a pick and roll, depending on who you guarding. So his point about Derrick Rose, it's a solid point, because yes, I would love Rose to get that shot, but guess what? 9 times out of 10, Rose is also gonna run an isolation play. If you give it to Kemba, Kemba's gonna run an isolation play. You know why? Because the reason in isolation basketball happens is when you give the ball to your best player, that is their moment to break down the defender. In this case, Gafford was a mismatch because if you look at the way the game ended, he couldn't guard Julius Randle. When Julius Randle hit some of those shots, there was one play where he got fouled. Randle came up the court. He kind of pump faked the three because he hit a three the previous possession, and he just schooled by Gafford, and Gafford fouled him, and he went to the free throw line. So was the shot a high quality shot? Yes, it's a fadeaway. If it doesn't go in, we would probably be saying that it's not a good shot. But in the end, isolation basketball, and like I said, I'm not always in agreement with how it's played, but it's the reality. You're gonna give it to your best player, and you're gonna say, "Give me a bucket." We talked last year about this is what the Knicks need. The Knicks need someone that you can just give the ball to and get me a bucket. Well, when you get that player, that's probably what is going to happen. It's going to be an isolation play. But again, yes, we can always discuss who you would prefer to have that last shot.
Yeah, no, that conversation could be had for sure. I just feel like, and I'm the same way because I love the ball movement. I love going to pick roll situation at that time of the game for sure. But like you mentioned, in a real time situation, it more times not, especially in the playoffs, it doesn't ever get to that. It always gets to the best dude on that team or the hot player on that team in the moment is when it's going to take that final shot, especially when it's tied. I mean, it's a different conversation if you're down or whatever the case may be, but either way, I think it's going to end the same way. But I mean, like I said, I'm with you on arguing about the player that takes that shot, but as far as like running a play, it's just not realistic. It is in 2K it's different, but in real life, I don't know if you're necessarily going to get to that point. But I kind of see what you're getting. But I knew Ari was going to come and say something about Julius Randle. He wasn't going to just let him have that game with. I wouldn't have been happy if he just said, "Good job, Julius Randle," and called it a night. I wouldn't have been pleased with that. I ain't gonna lie.
I will be honest. When Randle did get the ball and the shot clock was winding down, I will be honest and say, man, why Rose doesn't have the ball? But that it doesn't mean that I don't have faith. It's just Rose is on the floor. Rose just hit a great.
He was
three.
on,
and he's a guard, and Aaron Holiday couldn't guard him. So, it's a make or miss league. If you make it, it's great. If you miss, then we're gonna talk about it.
We are definitely going to talk about it. Got a lot of calls on the Discord. Appreciate you guys. Keep calling in. We're going to go to you guys. Let's get some of these calls on rapid fire. Get your points. Let us know how you feeling before the opener this coming Wednesday. We got 1,700 of you guys in the chat, but only 600 likes. Hit that like button for your boys if you haven't already. Hit that like button for your boy CP so we can get him back here quickly because he's over there enjoying this fourth game win a little too much. He's out there partying. And he said, CKJD, take the show for me tonight. I gotta celebrate. That's not really what happened, but I'm gonna pretend that's the story. Anyways, we run with the next one up. We got a lot of people on the line, so we gotta get through these quick. So you guys, rapid fire. And first up, we're going with my man Harrison Reed Dolan in the Discord. What's up, bro? How you feeling? What's the energy? How you feeling? Talk to us.
Yo, what's up, CK? What's up, JD? I'm feeling really good, dude. I was actually at the Garden tonight.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, bro. I bought my first jersey.
Who was it?
I had to go with my boy IQ, bro.
Nice.
I had to go with IQ.
No wrong with that.
Give us the Garden report. How was the atmosphere?
Yeah, man.
All right, first 3 quarters, it was great. It was great to see Mitch back, but the energy wasn't there. But dude, when that Obi Randall lineup came in with RJ, Grimes, and Rose, the energy just felt different. At first it was like, oh, cool, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I've been interested in watching this. But over time, they started to really gel, and the Wizards couldn't hit anything, man. But I got a question for you guys. So
Dang it.
I got this friend I like to talk basketball with, and he is a certified Knicks hater, bro. He's a Nets fan.
No.
He's like all that. So he's always talking that, and I'm optimistic, bro. I'm thinking 53-29 this year.
Woo, 50 burger. It counts.
50 burger, it counts, bro. But so I think we can make a really deep run this year, bro, because like I think we're stacked. You know, down to 1 to 15, we got really capable NBA players. But the thing is, we don't have a guy like a Giannis or Tatum or Trey or KD or Harden. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he'll always bring that point up. And I just want to know, like, do you think our team, we're kind of going with that well-rounded effect, you know? Do you think we could hang with those guys that really have the higher, like, you know, the higher caliber, like, top echelon of the league players in the playoffs? I'm thinking best of 7, you know?
Okay.
But I appreciate you guys taking my call. And I hope you have a great night. Peace out.
You too, Harrison. Love that call. Appreciate that. I think that's a solid question. I'm gonna answer real quick, JD, and I'm gonna let you take the floor. I think we'll be fine. I've always been a fan, especially in today's NBA and the pace of the game. If we truly do play quicker, to Tibbs' point, to everyone's points for the entire preseason, I do think that Julius Randle is a guy that can close. I think we have a guy that can hopefully close for us down the line in Kemba Walker, and we for sure know what we get out of Derrick Rose. But for the most part in these games, I think we will have a spread attack. And I do think that that's something that can work for us. As long as we have the guys that hit the key buckets when we need them, and then for the most part playing the spread attack, I really don't think that we need a guy that's just going to go out there and get 30 every single night for us to win. I think we're past that because of how deep we are. So I think there's an argument that, yes, we can do some damage with what we have playing the spread attack as long as we make those key buckets with the guys like either Derrick Rose, Kemba Walker, or Julius Randle. But that's my opinion. How you feeling about it, JD?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, when people talk about championship contention, I mean, he named some players with KD and some of those players that are in that position. And is that the next step for the Knicks to get into that level? Is it getting the next, top 10, top 5 player in the league? I mean, he mentioned Jason Tatum, but I don't view the Celtics as a championship contender. Right. So I think in the end, what's going to matter is matchups, right? That's why I think seeding is going to be very important this season for the Knicks, because you don't want to, get a 5th, 5 or 6 seed and then you're playing the Bucks or the Nets in the first round. I want to be able to be in a position to where, we make a deep run, and in the end, it's going to be on matchups. The Knicks have a deep team. That's also why I think Tom Thibodeau, I'm going to hold them very much accountable this season, because when you don't have that, top 5 player and you have a deep team, guess what? It's going to revolve a lot on coaching, making adjustments, having the right substitution patterns, and do what he did tonight. Not be afraid to mess with some lineups or take some risks, like, playing Obi or Randall together. When he made that adjustment, the Knicks went off offensively. Julius Randle was able to get a lot more spacing, and he was able to create easier shots for himself, because you have a high flyer, and you also have Obi, who hit some key shots as well, creating some spacing on the floor. So I think when you have a team like the Knicks, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's coaching, it's the players, it's the bench. The Knicks have all those ingredients. In the end, it's going to be on matchups, and, we'll see how deep we go this season.
I love it. I completely agree. Good question, though, Harrison. Appreciate you. And we love the energy, man. Definitely was felt through the TV for a preseason game. Love it. Love the energy. See the homie Poppa Left. I think we're going to save him for the end, so sit tight. My man Poppa Left. I'm looking. I see Peter, who was waiting. And that's the homie Peter from Belize. I know you are feeling a type of way about this win. 4-0 in the preseason. The season opener is coming Wednesday. Peter, how are you feeling, bro? Glad to hear from you again, man. Oh, Peter. Peter going once. Oh, no, Peter going twice. I'm going to send him to the lounge, and hopefully he'll get his mic situation figured out, and we'll get him back in here. Come on, Peter, we need you, man. I'm looking at seeing Jay Rose. I don't know if that's no, he's gone too. Oh, no, there he is. Sorry. My fault. My bad, Jay. I moved you to the wrong chat. Jay Rose, how you feeling, man? 4-0 in the preseason. Regular season begins next week. How are you feeling? Do you think that you have any questions? You worried about anything? Are you excited? We want to hear it. How you feeling, J Rose? Uh-oh. Are we waiting too long? Are we forgetting that the microphones, guys, you gotta have the microphone on and speak. J
Energy's
Rose.
high. Let's keep that energy going,
Come
bro.
on,
50
Jay.
burger. We here. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Jay. Oh, okay. I guess. All right, Jay Rose. We need Jay Rose and Peter to get it together. Come on now. But yeah, Peter. Yeah, Peter. I see the chat showing love to Peter. Yeah, that's our guy, Peter from Belize. I'm sure he's just away from the mic, but we'll try to get him back in. Shout out to chat. We are seeing the super chats, and we will read all the super chats at the end of the show. We are not ignoring them. I'm trying to get through them as much as we can, as well as going through the calls. But we will read all the super chats at the end of the show, so they will not go for naught. We'll see if we can get back to Jay Rose and Peter from Belize. But I see Jay in the chat. Let's give Jay a shot. Now let's not don't strike us out, Jay. Okay, we 0-2 right now. Jay, please keep the energy up and let us know how you feeling, Jay. What's up? I like your profile picture too, bro.
It's the basic. It's the basic for now. It's first time caller.
What's up, Jay? Glad to have you, man. How you feeling? 4-0 in the preseason. Does that matter to you? Is it good energy for the regular season? How you feeling, Jay? Talk to us, man.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. 4-0. I'm feeling smooth. Feeling crispy. You know. I just want to say shout out to CK Queen's Boys Stand Up, and I also just want to ask quickly. Before I get to that, I think Grimes solidified his spot to hold us down defensively over. I'm sorry, escaping my mind. Deuce. I think he solidified his spot over Deuce just for defensive purposes. Okay. Quickly, since we're doing rapid fire, I just want to see how you guys feel. We think we match up well, or how we match up against like the Bulls, the Heat, just to talk long term, I guess, outside of just preseason. So we get into something deeper.
So Bulls, Heat, and like the Celtics, you like just like that second tier. You're saying?
Yeah. Like how you think we'd match up? Are we ready to fully solidify our name in the second tier?
All right. Yeah, appreciate you for the call, Jay. Calling again, man. Thank you. Let's hear a second one.
And we can't forget Manscaped.
That's right, Manscaped. You know what it is, man. I was still laughing about that Jeff Van Gundy cut shot to CP.
I was thinking more tips.
There you go.
Go with the tips haircut.
All
right, good night, fellas.
Appreciate you, man. Jay. Oh, my God. But that's a good question. I mean, we saw the Bulls, just like us, they ran through all their teams in the preseason. They look good. They have a weird matchup situation going on with them. They're going to be playing positionless ball the entire season. The Heat, we don't know what we're going to get from them because you know that they approach preseason differently than we're approaching them. Celtics, as you mentioned, I'm not entirely sure where the Celtics are going to be. But to his point, where I see us standing with that tier 2 is where I put us. I put the Knicks in that tier 2. I like the arguments that you and our first caller talking about us, the possibility seeing, depending on how the season goes for the Nets and the 76ers and stuff like that. I like that argument of us possibly making that run for that third seed. I don't think it happens, but I definitely think that we are capable of doing so. I like how we match up. I still worry, and this is just, I guess, benefit of the doubt to the Heat. I still worry about their defense a little bit. I like the pickup of Kyle Lowry for that team. Depends on their health, though. What version of everybody on that team do they get? What version of Jimmy Butler do they get? What version of Tyler Hero do they get? Which version of Bam do they get? I think that's a big question with that Miami Heat team. But the Bulls, I love the Bulls. Y'all know Lonzo's my guy. Really hoping he has a good season. But I'm not really too intimidated about the Bulls. I think they have a good season. But as far as where we stand on that list, I think us and the Hawks are some of the better teams in that tier 2 and the Miami Heat. But that's just my opinion. How you feel about us and where we're going to stand in the with the regular season against some of those other teams, JD?
I mean, with the Bulls, I'm certainly not buying it, and I'm
Right.
sorry. That's just me, because I just think when the regular season starts, again, it's an 82 game season, and in an 82 game season, your depth is tested, and they don't have. I mean, they have Alex Caruso as their main guy. Kobe White is out. And even in their starting lineup, there's going to be question marks about their ability to shoot the basketball, their ability to be a high-powered offense with Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan doesn't shoot threes. and Lonzo Ball, he had a very promising preseason. Will he quote unquote break out? Like he is a breakout candidate among a lot of analysts. Um, I don't know. I don't know that Lonzo will ever be a scoring guard, like a high end scoring guard. I just don't see enough with the Bulls to be a better team than the Knicks, and that's just my opinion. The
I agree.
Celtics,
I agree.
everybody else, I think it's a matchup thing. It's a toss up. It's going to come down to, you know, who shows up and who's available. The same thing with the Heat, and that's why the Knicks have, in my opinion, an advantage in the 82 game season. One of the reasons why the Knicks went 4-0 in the preseason as well, because Tom Thibodeau coached every of those games like it was the regular season, and so my point when the season begins, and is one of the reasons why I am on the 50 burger bandwagon, is because I just believe, for example, a team like the Heat, they're still going to manage some of those players. Tom Thibodeau, he played Mitchell Robinson 27 minutes in a preseason game when he just said before the game that he was going to be limited. So to me, the Knicks are just going to steal a few more games than these other teams that are just going to take some nights off and they're going to manage and load management. Tom Thibodeau's not trying to hear none of that stuff. And so in the end, I think now the question again will be in the playoffs and in terms of his ability to adjust and coach in the big moments. But I have the Knicks above some of those teams. I think the Heat and the Hawks are going to be their biggest competition in terms of that second tier.
I love that. Yeah, I think so too. I think the Hawks are going to be probably one of the better teams in that second tier, but I love our chances of still outshining them. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. This season is just going to be fun. A lot of changes, a lot of things to look out for, and I'm looking forward to it. I ain't backing away from none of those challenges. I think the Knicks have a good chance with all those teams that we mentioned for sure. But yeah, all right, let's get through some of these rapid fire calls. We got a few people here. We're gonna try Jay Rose again. All right, we got the word from Dave that Jay Rose is his mic is working. He's ready to go. Jay Rose, giving you another shot, my boy. What's good, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
There he is. We're good, man. We're good. Talk to us, man. What's your thoughts going into the regular season after seeing what you saw in the preseason?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, I want us to get away from thinking that this game didn't mean anything. This was, I think, one of probably the most important games, during the preseason. We ran through the first three teams. The third game, we had a hiccup, but we came through. So I mean, it's a very important game. We had to struggle through. We fought. They didn't play as well as they should have. Kemba, needs to work on his defense. Evan wasn't feeling it today, but we were able to see, Grimes come on and be a lockdown defender. So, when I see that and I see the second unit come back and kind of bring the whole game in for us, because you see that Tibbs went with basically almost, not almost, but a half starting unit and kind of, a half, second unit to close the game. So it doesn't matter who starts. It doesn't matter where they come in. He knows who's going to win that game for him in any situation. So I think that's a good takeaway for us in this game, in my opinion.
No, I completely co-sign that. Yeah, and I agree with you. I feel like people dumbed down the preseason a little too much. I feel like we overachieved, but for the most part, it is something that matters because chemistry is a big deal, and especially when you want to go into a season in the right direction, it's definitely important. I know there's a stat right now that the Phoenix Suns went 0-3 in the preseason last year, and the Bucks went 0-4, and then they ended up going to the finals. There's that whole thing, but for the most part, I think for our chemistry and for a team that is built the way that we're built, where we play we have a deep depth chart. It's important to have everybody play and have everybody be on the same page. So I agree. I think it didn't matter. I'm with you on that one for sure, Jay.
Why chemistry is. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, well, because I mean, those other teams and those other coaches, we all know that Tibbs is completely different from everyone else. So all of the other teams, because I watched the Lakers, lose 4 in a row,
Right.
This year I'm really only watched them because I kind of want Melo to get a ring.
Yeah, right there with you.
But at the same time, I'm not going to dismiss that. They got to work through a whole bunch of stuff. We got to work through a whole bunch of stuff, but we're going at it as if the first preseason game was the first regular season game. That's how Tibbs looks at everything. Even summer league, because I've been watching everything. I look at everything, and you can just see that this is going to be a good season. It's really going to be good, but it's going to be because they're fighting hard. They're playing defense. Yes, we do have some defense missteps that we need to work on, especially with the players that we brought in. But the rookies that we brought in and all that, I think we have a good balance. Because where the defense lacks, the offense is going to pick up. And then we have defensive players to come in and pick up that slack, as we saw tonight. No one expected Grimes to do what he did tonight. So that's all I'm saying.
Yep, no, I appreciate it. All right, good call, Jay. Can't wait for the regular season. Hope to hear from you then. But good call, bro. Good call, bro.
He mentioned chemistry and preseason. There were a few examples tonight, and this is the reason why Thibodeau has manages, and one of the reasons why the Knicks were successful last season is the consistency of the rotation, trying to create the chemistry. At the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, RJ had an open three, and it was he had a turnover because he tried to pass it to Fournier. He was open on the corner.
Yep.
And he was frustrated. The next possession, next time down at the 8-minute mark, he had the same opportunity. He was open from three on the corner, and he shot the ball, made the three. Right? So it's one of those things where, in Fournier, there was a situation where he came down to off the pick. He was wide open for a little teardrop. He tried to pass it to Mitch, turnover.
Yeah.
Next time down, he had the same opportunity, and then he went up for the shot. So you see the transition and the timing that you need. A lot of it is timing, and you have two new starters. I understand that they're offensive players and they're veterans, and even Fournier and Kemba have played together with the Celtics. But to me, that's irrelevant because however they play together with the Celtics, this is a new team. They're playing with three other starters on this team, and a lot of it is timing. And so these are things that Tibbs pays close attention to. And hey, I can't wait for Wednesday. We play the Celtics.
Let's go.
And let's go.
Let's go. Right there with you. That's going to be fun. Great way to start the season for sure. All right, we got a few calls here before we wrap up with Poppa Left. Poppa Left, if you hear us, we're coming to you at the end to wrap up this show. Like I mentioned to all my Super Chat members, we are going to read those at the end. Let's get through some of the rest of these calls. 1,600 you guys, 1,700 you guys in the chat. Hit that like button. Let us know where you're from. We want to look at the chat. We see the chat conversations are going in a lot of different directions, but where the hell y'all coming from? Are you guys new? Drop that hashtag new or drop where you're from, and we're going to look at you guys here in just a second after this next call. And I got to give respect to my man Peter from Belize, so we're going to see if we can get Peter in here. Peter, well, I need your energy, man. Well, I haven't heard from you in a while. Peter, how you doing, bro? How you feeling?
I know, man. It's good to be alive.
There he is.
Yeah, definitely, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, bro. We hear you loud and clear.
All right, man. Definitely good to be alive. Definitely good to be cheering on our Knicks.
Yes,
I definitely feel that the spacing is going to be there for Julius to have a monster season. Now I'm looking 27, 13, and 6 with no spacing last year. With situational 3-point shots when guys got hot, with no spacing, he got 24, 11, and 6, or 5.6, or just rounding off.
Yeah, close enough.
So now with better spacing, you can't tell me that Julius is not going to average more. And I feel that the MVP conversation is about politics. The media and the sports beat writers are going to set, okay, it's going to be KD, Giannis, Curry, all these guys. And then you're going to have a surprise player that sort of rises up, and that's going to be Julius. So he may not get the votes to get the MVP. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You're good. Keep going.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, there's a lot of politics that goes around the MVP. So I feel that Julius is going to build on the most improved player. He's going to probably still, if he doesn't get MVP, he's going to probably be second team again, right around there. But because the spacing is going to be so good, because we're going to be shooting the three at a much higher clip, I feel that Julius is going to feast down low. Now I'm with the guy Ari or what he is. I really wanted to see a little bit more play calling because we had 15 seconds on the clock and there wasn't much ball movement. It was just ISO. But I do understand where JD is coming from. Where at the end of the day, it's a make or miss lead. You just have to put it in your best player's hand. Now one of the things that I liked about tonight is that do you think this is our lineup of death? We used to always talk about that with the Golden State Warriors, but do we have that now? Rose, Rose, Grimes, RJ at the three, Obi at the four, Julius at the five, especially in late game situations, because that defensive lineup is what really got us back into the game. And Wizards sort of just crumbled because they realized, you know what, the Knicks really want this thing more than us, and they just didn't have anything left. But do you think Grimes is going to get late game situations because of his the defensive capability over a guy like Fournier? Is this going to be a recurrent theme? And then one last thing before I go, Mitch with the Deontay Wilder effect. What do I mean by that? Deontay is naturally 215 pounds. He was putting on 238 against Fury, trying to put on the extra weight.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Mitch has put on too much weight, trying to bulk up to try and stay healthy, and then his body can't really handle it, and he has fatigue issues going down the stretch? I think Mitch is too heavy. I think he would be suited better if he would lose some of that weight. So I guess you guys can talk about line of death and weight, possible weight and fatigue issues with Mitch.
Yeah, no, those are great points. Pete, appreciate you as always, man. Appreciate you as
Peace
always.
out from Belize, man.
Yes, sir,
and 54 plus wins for the Knicks. We're going for the regular season record in Knicks history. So definitely this year.
You said 54?
Plus 54 plus.
All right, he's out the window. Catch him, JD. Catch him. He's out the window. I appreciate you, Peter. Appreciate you, bro. Two great points. As far as the lineup of death, I think we can quickly say that, as great as Grimes was tonight, I don't think that at least not right away, Grimes is going to be a part of that finishing lineup. I mean, not right away, in my opinion. I would love for me to be wrong because I love what Grimes brought for us tonight, but we still have Burks that didn't play tonight. Fournier could have a game where he's playing a lot better and gets in that final lineup. I also think right now Grimes is going to be a part of that. Do you? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, listen, we probably let's pump the brakes a little bit on that.
For sure.
In the end, perspective is we didn't play. Grimes wasn't out there guarding Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? So you play the Hawks, he's gonna have to guard Bogdanovich. Like you're playing veterans, and in crunch time situations, veterans are savvy. They know how to make plays. So I don't think he's ready for that yet. But it's still a very positive sign that he got 21 minutes and he was installed in those high pressure situations, because it's a sign that he may see some minutes. Getting the nod over Kevin Knox, and as I mentioned, with defense, what you're getting with Grimes that you don't get with Knox is, if we are already going to be a little weak in the perimeter, installing Grimes there gives you some defense. And I think that's why he's going to get the nod over Kevin Knox, because he came today and played the three. Yep. It's not Grimes didn't come in today and play the two. He played the three. And so, he gives Thibodeau some options. And as far as Obi and Randall, we'll see. And that's why it's been key for Obi to continue to improve defensively so that he gets those opportunities. As far as Mitchell Robinson, is he too heavy? Listen, we'll find out.
Yeah, that's the year. Could say better myself.
You know what I mean? He's in a contract year.
Yeah.
I mean, will we say he's too heavy if when we play the Sixers and he defends Embiid and that strength allowed him to defend Embiid? Yeah. We may not. We will see. He's going to have to adapt to that weight and learn how to play with it. He might lose a little bit of explosiveness, but if he becomes a better player, then was it productive or was it not? I think these things is wait and see. Every player is a different, different results, and let's see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, like I said, initially I was a little worried about his legs because of the way he was putting on, but nah, the dude looks like a complete unit. So I'm all my thoughts are out the window. I'm just gonna wait and see and let the conditioning figure itself out. I'm sure he'll be fine. And yeah, I'm just like you said, let's wait and see and let's find out. I'm not gonna make any crazy thoughts on that just yet. Way too soon for that. All right, let's get through these last few calls and then we'll wrap it up with Poppa Left. I'm looking at Poppy Entertainment. Let us know how you feeling, man. Poppy, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Good, bro. How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. Just happy that the Knicks are back. They winning. We go about to get this new game, this new season started, and just super excited, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, real quick, we were just talking about it. You saw Mitchell Robinson come back. Are you worried about Mitchell Robinson's weight?
No, to be honest, no. I just feel like it's his first game back. He was a little bit slower.
Right.
You know, he's not a lot of contact still. You know, and it's just a matter of time, to be honest, with Mitch.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
My thing is, I just wanted to ask you guys
For sure.
a question that it might be like a little far-fetched, but for me personally, I feel like it's not. So, I have a question. My thing is, what teams in the East do you feel that are better than our team right now?
DK, they ready for the season, man.
I'm about to say, man.
We getting a lot of, where we gonna land, who's gonna be our biggest
No, this is the
competition.
reason.
Everybody's
the reason
ready.
why I say it is just because every team you put in the East, we go face with them, and our bench is always better. Doesn't matter who we play, our bench is better.
I love it.
So it's kind of like player for player. You go with Milwaukee, you got Randall, you got Barrett against Middleton, and Antetokounmpo. I know that's a better two, but then every other player, I feel like we have a better battle and we have a way better bench. Same with the Nets, they're having a lot of issues. Same with Philly, they're having a lot of issues. The only team that I'm always scared of is Miami.
Yeah,
because they play the same type of basketball we play.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like it. We were talking about those other teams. Appreciate you, Poppy, for the call, man. Yeah, we were talking about that briefly earlier, but he wants to go, neck to neck with some of these teams, and he's trying to figure out who we match up against best. We did talk about where we think we're going to stand with those other teams, but to entertain Poppy's question, who are you looking at that you think that we match up against best? I'm just going to answer quickly, just because I want all the smoke. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I still feel like with our guys, with Mitch back in it, Mitch conditioned, I like our chances against the Hawks yet again. I will stand with that. So that I'm just for the meme, just for the hype, I'm going with the Hawks just for that.
I mean, me personally, I have the Bucks and the Nets on their own stratosphere.
Right, for real.
Even without Kyrie, man, it's just KD is different.
Different, yeah, for sure.
And I'm just giving them their respect. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, stars come up big, and they were a footnail away from we writing a different story. And you have to give the Bucks their respect. They're the defending champs, so that goes without saying. After that, I might agree with you with the Hawks, man. I know I know they're young, they're talented, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they changed the rules. I've been watching a lot of preseason. James Harden wasn't getting calls. I showed CP a video of Russell Westbrook trying to, get some like
he sure
they now let's see if that translates to the season. But based on preseason, Trae Young himself, we saw it quickly. The refereeing, they're definitely emphasizing all that silly stuff that they tried to do. So with that said, I'll take my chances with Trae Young having to also guard Derrick Rose, having to also guard Kemba Walker.
Amen.
Like last season, he was chilling guarding Reggie Bullock, chilling guarding Elfrid Payton. Mm-hmm. This season, he's gonna have to be tested. So the interesting thing with the Knicks is going to be RJ and Randall to me. Does Randall continue to elevate, and does RJ take that step? And then the bench. To me, the Knicks you can make a case they have the best bench in the NBA. Like, you can make a case based on just options.
Yeah.
They just need to be healthy, and let's see what happens, man. Everybody's pumped up. Everybody wants the playoffs to start next week.
Right,
The
I'm about to
season
say,
started
go
next
from
week.
preseason to
Let's
playoffs.
play game one.
Yeah, man. Can we get through the 82? Like, golly. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I love the energy, though. We all hyped up. All right, we got 2 more calls, and we're going to wrap it up here. Like I said, my man Poppa Left on deck. But before we get to Poppa Left, let me get to my guy, Fredo. Let me see if I can move you over here. Fredo, I know you've been waiting, bro, but you on with us. Fredo, how you feeling, bro?
Well, gentlemen, thank you for taking my call.
What's up, man?
Listen, man, I am so hyped right now. I feel so good about the Knicks going into the season. Man, to see Obi play with the confidence that he's been playing with, to see Mitchell back on the court. Oh man, I wish the season would start tonight.
Man.
But I mean, I think this week was a very important week in Knicks history and a little bit under the radar. I know you guys touched on it on the prior episode. But if we really sit back and think about what a circus the Garden would be like right now if the Knicks fans, including myself, would have gotten what we wanted in Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Zion Williams, Think about how it would have been like the Ringley brothers are back at the Garden, man. Imagine dealing with the Kyrie situation and Zion having the bum foot. Man, we would be going through it. We are in such a good position. We are really blessed, and I think that the Knicks, for the first time in a long time, are really turning the organization around in a positive way. I think we're a legitimate contender. You never know how the season's going to play out. There's always going to be injuries. There's always going to be trades, and I think that the Knicks are setting themselves up for the very soon in the future, we're going to be a legitimate contender to potentially win a championship. And we're seeing the very beginning steps of that. And it's really a beautiful thing. I'm a longtime fan, and I just can't wait for this season to start. It's going to be great.
I can feel that. Fredo, appreciate you calling, man. Next week, hope to hear from you more. I love it. Good stuff, Fredo. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man.
It was definitely a good week for the Knicks from a PR standpoint.
Sure, yes.
You had all that stuff going on, and then on the same day that I think it was the Kyrie Irving news. You had D Rose proposing, and on the Garden floor. So it's definitely unknown territory.
Yeah,
for us.
It's weird.
So it's a little strange. We're still adapting to it, but certainly. It's been a very productive, off season from a PR standpoint, reputation, culture, and credibility. So, the Knicks have to keep it going, and it all starts next week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he brought up great points because those are all 3 guys that we were praying and hoping for in one off season, and now they are all topics of conversation this year. And imagine,
just wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Knicks would be at today if they actually
went that route.
Zion Williamson. Everybody talks about, the Pelicans are not a great organization. He's gonna want to leave there. Well, guess what? If he's not healthy, who cares where he's playing? He has to also, be available. So whether it's with the Pelicans, with the Knicks, with the Lakers, he's had a very up and down start to his career. The good thing is he's young, and we'll see what the end result is. But everything happens for a reason, and right now the Knicks are in a very good spot.
For once, we are on the right timeline. I like it because in another universe, it's just gonna keep piling on. But for once, we are on the right timeline. I love it. And speaking of the right timeline, we are ending off with the man himself, my guy, Big Homie. I'm actually rocking the shirt as we speak. I'm rocking the Knicks set shirt. It was not planned out. It's just the way that the universe works. Like I said, right timeline. We are wrapping up the show with my guy, Poppa Left. Preseason's over, sir. Regular season begins. Talk to us, bro.
Maybe this regular season still is the preseason because playoffs is a lock. So
tell him.
Tell him.
Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Boogie. We're gonna go what up for Capital Dubs. Oh man, what did we say in that little preview show, CK2K? 4-0.
4-0.
4-0. 4-0 preseason. The Knicks were down 19 tonight in the third quarter, and I put $5 and I won back 50. because it reminded me of the Cavaliers game we had last year in the preseason, last preseason game. And Tibbs, has these guys believing in themselves, pressured. People could argue, what if a guy gets hurt? I mean, I just think that our operation, the way that we're running, is just going to be next man up. I think we have the depth to do it that way. I think that there's a quiet confidence that these guys have at home. There's just some type of vibe that I caught through the TV tonight when RJ hit a three. We were struggling. RJ hit a three. You hear RJ Barrett. There's something about it is different. You know what I mean? Like there's just a sense of we're good. We can come back. And I know it's a preseason game. I know it's the Wizards' second stringers, some of them third stringers, but that kind of stuff pops off on the screen to me. Man, the rotations at the end of the game were real interesting. I know, CK, you saw the tweet I had about the unit before Mitch left. I think it was Rose, Grimes, Mitch, Obi.
Yes, Obi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that lineup was great. And I almost think the way we had Peyton kind of start the game and then Rose come off the bench. I'm not saying that this is a 100% possibility, or even if it's possible, because I think Mitch is healthy starting. But I do think that Mitch, the way he just gives it all, like his effort, I feel like he would be almost like a great bench player. Mm-hmm. Like the way he came off the bench and he adds a different dynamic. It almost feels sometimes when Mitch starts, he kind of gets in quick foul trouble, or I feel like he's the type of guy we can maximize his effort. And you kind of saw when he's gassed, it's over. You know what I mean? So I think I know Mitch is has a lot of potential and people view him as a starting center. I just feel like we have great reinforcements at that position, and we have another wrinkle in it. The OB at the 5, I guess Tip called it Julius at the 5. But it still has life to it. You know what I mean? That lineup showed itself to be the comeback lineup where you can go small, go quick. It gives the paint open to Rose that he can drive very quickly to the hoop. So I like that look. And also just a main takeaway is that, I feel like we're in. I love Kemba, you know what I mean, but I feel like we're in the same conundrum this year, where it's like Derrick Rose is the guy. He's the guy that unlocks all of our ancillary pieces. He's the guy that unlocks Obi. He found Grimes. He goes pick and pop, pick and roll with Julius. He finds RJ in the open floor. He gets those deflections. How do we pick his spot to close the game? And how do we pick his spot to come in the game? Because, I'm fine with Kemba starting the game, but I'm sold on Derrick Rose at this point. I feel like Derrick Rose is the leader in that locker room. So that is what stuck out most to me from this game. And what did you guys think about Derrick Rose tonight?
Well, I said it when we did our lineup show. I had him in every one of my lineups. There's no lineup where Derrick Rose should not be on it, whether it's a closing lineup, a defensive lineup, a three-point shoot. I don't care what the name of the lineup is. I want Derrick Rose on lineup because, like you said, I just feel like when he's on the floor, you just feel like we always have a shot at winning. It doesn't matter in what way he attributes to that, whether it's the floater, whether it's the three, whether it's him, force feeding these guys that need that confidence boost. 2 games ago, we saw him with Kevin Knox. He was the one that was giving him those 3-point shots, like shoot the damn ball. Same thing with Grimes with the hit making that open 3 today. Like that's just the leadership and what we need from that point guard role when it comes to Derrick Rose. Like you said, I'm perfectly fine with Kemba Walker, starting the game, playing the minutes that he's going to get. But to me, Derrick Rose has to close this game. I don't care if you put them next to each other. I don't care what you do. Derrick Rose has to close this game. So I'm 100% with you on that. I couldn't agree more.
What do you think about Derrick Rose closing versus Kemba? Do you feel like it's almost a mistake at this point to let Kemba rock out with the starters, or what do you think about that?
I mean, I think Kemba fits well with the starters because although he's not known to be like a pure point guard, he is definitely a willing distributor. And
Right.
even when you've seen earlier in preseasons when we had the great games with him, you saw how the offense flowed. Him being able to break down the defense and create. He has chemistry with Fournier, so I think you want to keep that intact. And Rose it can be so potent offensively that you want to have that off the bench because you also want him to play some of the backups of the other teams. You want him to play some of those backup guards and give him some of that punch. I think that was one of the reasons why we were able to facilitate the comeback today was because he came off the bench and he kept us within range to where it didn't get too out of control. I know we were down 14, 15, 16, but Rose gives you that ability off the bench and to close. Think you're right, man. And Rose is a bigger body defensively, and so that gives Tibbs a little bit more trust to be able to have him close games. I think you will see some games during the season just because of Kemba's talent, and you got to respect his history. I think you may see some games where Kemba does close, depending on how the night goes. But overall, right now, Rose has to be the closer at point guard. I 100% agree, and I don't think you're going to see many times them playing together to close. He tried it tonight. It didn't work defensively, and I think you're going to play one of those two to close the game because you have to have some type of defensive presence. And so, yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Speaking just to touch on that defensive presence at the guard position, you saw it down the stretch of last year with the Spurs game, with the Celtics game, with the Hornets game. And obviously with Trae Young, we have a problem containing small, quick, penetrating guards that can shoot from range. It could be a Devontae Graham. I don't know, his name is Devontae Graham. I'm thinking Devontae Smith. Fantasy problems. Graham on the Hornets, Trae Young, you know what I mean? Like these small, quick slashing guards. And I feel like tonight, another thing that's popped off the screen was Grimes. And Grimes being able to stop, dribble, drive, being able to track his defender. CK, we saw that in Summer League. He's just elite at that skill.
Yeah.
And when his shot is going, it's like perfect two-way combination.
Right.
Just to be a guy who can just catch and shoot. And the fact that he was able to knock that down after not hitting a couple, he made the shot to make it a one-possession game at 98-96. So that was a big shot. Obi had a big shot. But these guys, like the last year, we saw that young lineup with Mitch, RJ, IQ, and Kevin Knox from the preseason game. And we were sluggish. We were starting slow. And I think going into this season, I was kind of trying to find what was the issue with this team. Who's going to be the stagnant? Because every team has that. They have like a stagnant lineup. And, it seems to me that if Fournier's shot's not going, and Kemba's not going, the energy kind of drops off. And I'm looking at these guys like Obi and Grimes, and yeah, they're not the most refined offensive players, but I can always count on them to give me hustle. And I can always count on them to be long and to rebound and to be chippy and get involved. And that's why I said Mitch possibly getting involved with that second unit because they fit the mold together, especially RJ, all those young guys. I feel like the same way, and I'm going to get off, but the same way quickly came on the scene versus the Cavs in that last preseason game last year. I got the same vibe from Grimes tonight, and Tibbs spoke on it in the post game. Like he's in the rotation. He's going to be a player. Maybe not game one out of seniority, but Grimes is here. He's the first round pick. He's been identified by Tibbs. He's going to be the replacement for Reggie in terms of the role that Reggie played. So I'm very happy for him because he started off a little slow in Summer League, and it was nice to see Tibbs to throw him in there and keep him in there.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to talk about that, and I'm going to hang up. But great show again, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
As always, appreciate you, Poppa Left, my guy. Those are the point. I was making that point. That was my thing about Grimes. I said it. I love Deuce. Deuce is great. I feel like Deuce is going to be more situational in the sense that when Kemba misses a game or Derrick Rose misses a game or something like that, or whatever the case may be, I think that's when we're going to be looking at him getting his opportunity. But I feel like Quentin Grimes has that opportunity, as we saw today, to steal a roster spot in the regular rotation. You know, like he mentioned, Evan Fournier, if the shot's not going in, what else is Fournier going to give us? So we might see a back and forth between Burks and Grimes in a certain situation. And like you mentioned earlier on, Grimes showed that he can play 3. Mind you, yes, it is the Wizards, but Kuzma's a big task at the 3 for the certain situations. I mean, for the majority, he was guarding the other rookie and Corey Kispert towards the end. But I just feel like there's going to be times this season where we're going to see Grimes get that call before some of these other rookies. And I stand by my sentiment. I believe he's going to be a part of this regular rotation earlier rather than later in this season, and I truly believe that. He just gives us way too much to not be a part of the team. So I agree with Poppa Left on that.
I'll be interested to see who's the 11th guy on all these NBA teams and compare them to like a Quentin Grimes. Because when you look at the Knicks rotation, you would say they have their 10-man rotation set. Because, you know, part of Grimes getting an opportunity tonight is also Alec Burks being out. And then you have like an 11th guy like Quentin Grimes, who I will say, I think a lot of the fan base is probably a little surprised that he got the nod like that over McBride, you know, and that's why it's funny how this is all shaped out, right? Because when we were doing the post-game shows for the preseason games, Grimes had a slow start to summer league.
Yep.
To the summer league games. I'm sorry. Grimes had a slow start to the summer league, and look how he's ended summer league, and now he's ended preseason on a very high note, which kind of establishes a lot of the scouting reports coming out in terms of where he was drafted, being an NBA ready guy. He's proving that now, and that's probably why he's gotten the nod. Right now, it would seem, over McBride in situations this season. In terms of, and this is part of the Knicks creating assets, right? Like, this is all great to see, because if Fournier lives up to his contract, you don't know what could happen in terms of, you know, building assets. If Grimes develops and McBride develops, you have options. So this is why overall, man, the Knicks are in a great spot. I think to Poppa Left's point about Mitchell Robinson potentially, you know, being better as a bench player, you know, I can see that perspective, you know, creating kind of like that hustle second unit where it's just all hustle and grit. But I just think, you know, for this team, he's going to be, you know, the starter. And I think for that center spot, maybe you groom Obi to take care of that 4th spot, and you move Randall to the 5th spot. If Noel, who we don't know if he's going to play tonight. I mean, Tibbs keeps saying that he's ready, but I don't know why he's not playing if he's ready.
Resting.
So what happens there? Taj Gibson, you would think, gets the nod as the backup center if whenever Mitch is ready to start. But don't be surprised if, you know, later on in the season, you start to see a little bit more of Randall, Obi in that 4-5 spot, because in the end, like I said, Tibbs is going to have to adapt a little bit, and the Knicks are going to have to, I guess, prioritize a little bit scoring, just because we may not have the defense in the perimeter to keep up with some of these teams. Last season, we were so good defensively that we were able to keep teams on pace with the way we wanted to play basketball. But this season, the Knicks want to shoot way more threes, and they've proven that throughout this preseason. So let's see how it happens, man. This team has so many options. There's so many ways Tibbs could go. There's so many different closing lineups you can have. And, you know, can't wait. So Poppa Left, great call, man. Can't wait to see you throughout the season.
Yes, sir. And that's the perfect way to end the show right there with our guy Poppa Left and the preseason, you know, holding it down for CP. Love doing the show with you, JD. Always love hearing your insights. You are one of the most insightful dudes that we got in the network, so I appreciate you rocking with me here. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to all the callers. Shout out to all the super chats. Unfortunately, I don't have the magical powers of CP to get some of those older ones, so I do apologize, but we do appreciate all of the donations. Like I said, it goes back to you guys, goes back to the channel, so it really, really does mean a lot. Shout out to all the first-time callers we had. Shout out to all the first-time viewers in the chat. The preseason's over. And y'all knew that because we heard all the questions talking about this regular season. So Wednesday, the real season begins. I'm ready. JD's ready. Know y'all ready. JD, let them know where they can find you, bro.
Well, are we reading the super chat?
Like I just said, I don't have. Unfortunately, they all disappeared on us. Me and Dave were trying to find them. We can't get all of those, man. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, listen. Great show, Knicks fans. Let's go. This is here. It's zip. This has been an outstanding offseason for KnicksFanTV, from the draft content to summer league to preseason. So shout out CP. I know you ducked that smoke tonight because Randall hit that shot, but it's all good. I'll see you on October 20th. CK, love doing the show with you, man. And let's go. Some quick news for you guys to pay attention to. Wendell Carter today, center for the Orlando Magic, signed a 4-year, $50 million deal. Robert Williams, we know, signed a $54 million deal. So for the Mitch fans and the people that are hoping that maybe we re-sign him, that's something to pay attention to, because is $50 million, is that the market for Mitch? We will see. And let's go. 50 Burger Team. You guys know what time it is. It starts October 20th. The Knicks are going to go 1-0. I'm calling 7-3 or 8-2 to start the season. And JD Sports Talk NY on Twitter, JD Sports Talk on YouTube. I'll see you guys on October 20th.
Man, JD dropping some bombs on us. Okay, so
shout out to the mods. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to John Talento, Ari, Poppa Left. Yes. Everyone. The legend, Chuck D.
Chuck D, man.
The legend,
yes,
Chuck
sir.
D. Shout out to you, man. I can't wait. I'm humped. I'm hyped right now.
Yes, sir.
And let's go.
It's ready. It's time. Yeah, you guys know the vibes. And more importantly, make sure you subscribe right here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Let CP know that you were holding it down. We had a fun time for this preseason. Let's get into the regular season. Your boy CK. Find me over on CK2K, where content will be back. I took a little break, but I'm going to come back. But more importantly, make sure you subscribe right here. Hit that notification bell for more content. It's going to be a fun season, y'all. It's going to be a fun season. Really excited. We're out of here. Enjoy y'all weekend. We'll see you real soon, and get ready for the real thing to begin. Appreciate y'all. We out.